So I'm realizing that I need to be stricter on myself, like mentally. Like I think physically, I have that habit of going to the gym. Lately it's been more of like 5 times a week, and I'll give myself the weekend off, or like I'll go every other like Saturday or, Sunday. So then some days, some weeks will be 6 days. But I think right now what I'm struggling with is a mental diet. Like I understand why she didn't want us to read, and I'm kind of fine with putting off reading as long as I can listen to my audiobook like while I am working out or going for a walk. Or like while I'm crocheting or something. Like I feel like it can be useful, but because I'm watching TV or a movie anyways. But I think that with this week of not reading, sure, I did draw more. I did, crochet a little bit more, but I feel like I found myself scrolling more or wanting to scroll more, and then playing Scrabble more, which is fine. It's not social media, but it's still me being on my phone. And I think that that's the habit that I need to break. It's just that, like, you have this fix that you need to get. I don't know if it's like a blue light fix or what, but like I feel like lately that's kind of what it's been. It's been like, sure, I might not be like doom scrolling, but I am just like sitting there on my phone. And yeah, I am thinking, I am challenging myself, but I'm still on my phone and I'm not creating, if that makes sense. So I want to kind of break that habit. So I think that'll be my goal for this week. My personal goal is to just like get back on my strict mental diet. And, I think I went a couple of days without meditating in the morning, maybe even this entire past week. Honestly, the days are just like jumbled up together. I need to figure out if I need to get over this. Like I need to get back into my no. Like I was really strict with myself. Once I hit the hour, it's like that's it. You played yourself. Or at some point I would extend it and be like, okay, I just gotta post and that's it. But now it's been like extend. And I don't think I'm extending it but for the most part I'm just extending it maybe like an hour 15 to like an hour and a half, but that's still an hour and a half of every single day that I'm spending on social media, even if I'm just posting for the podcast or whatever. It's like, it's so hard to find that balance of like, am I doing it for work or am I doing it for fun? Yesterday, I just ended up working on the vlog for week 1 of the Artist Way. My goal was to finish it. Did not end up happening. I am like halfway through it. So I'm really, really, really going to try to finish it today and post it today because it just needs to be put out there. Like at this point, I wrote a song yesterday and I had another one in my head and it slipped my mind because I was on the phone with somebody and I was like, okay, whenever we hang up, I'll do it. And then it already had slipped my mind. So yeah, I really liked it. I really, really liked it. I think I'm starting to get the hang of like, I guess like songs not necessarily needing a flow. I think for a while of my life, I did feel like, you can hear like the structure to a song. Like, you'll hear the chorus repeating or like you'll feel like you notice that words are rhyming and stuff like that. And then whenever you hear like those really raw songs, they don't really have like a flow to it. It's just kind of like whatever came out and it's beautiful. And so I really, really like it. I could definitely see it being something that I like sit down and record. I just had some breakfast. I had some toast with cottage cheese, blueberries on top, and some cinnamon. I had 2 pieces of those and a tangerine. And I realized that I think the reason why I've been I think my sleeping pattern is a little messed up, but I also think that I'm sleeping more because I have less energy because I'm eating less. Does that make sense? Like my body is needing more rest because I'm not eating as much, so I don't have as much like energy from food to burn. So then I'm like using it I'm like getting that energy while I'm sleeping. Okay, so yesterday I ended up writing quite a bit of a book that I'm working on. It's a book that I started working on years ago. It's something that is very thorough. I would share with you all what it is, but I am afraid that it's supposed to be a surprise for the book is a surprise. It'll all make sense in the future. I've been reading and she brings up a point that really, really hits me because she says that as artists, we need solitude. We need time to just like retreat, recoup, recharge, and then that way we can like go back into the world and navigate it. And that's something that I feel like I struggle with. So she gives an example about a mom who attends all of her kids' sports events. And the mom feels guilty with the idea of skipping attending one of the games or practices to go take a pottery class. But, so she still continues to attend their games and stuff. Meanwhile, she ends up like resenting them. And I feel like that is something that happens to me. And that's why it was really hard, like living back home, was because it's just really hard for me to put my foot down of like, I can't attend this. I can't go to that because, it is embedded in my brain and in my blood that family is everything. You drop everything for family. Family is the most important thing in the world to you. And while that is true, just because I don't attend a birthday party, just because I don't attend something does not mean that I don't love you or that I don't care about you. And so I really struggle with that. Like, for example, this weekend is my niece's first communion. I don't feel like that was communicated to me properly. I just happen to know that that's what it is. And I was not given an invitation. Nothing was said, Gabby, this is happening. And I'm also missing my oldest niece's 13th birthday. These are things that I obviously wish I was home for. And, distance does make the heart grow fonder. But I know that if I were there, I think I just struggle with needing to go to everything. Like every single kid's game, every single kid's track meet, every single kid's event, because you want to be present for those things, because you want to, but at the same time, it's like, but I have other stuff I have to do. And so I think it's just about like finding this balance of like, I can pour into your cup after I've poured into my own. And I know that it's so different whenever you have kids, but that's not to say that you still can't be pouring into yourself. Yeah, I mean, I feel good about today. I think yesterday I was in my head a little bit, but I definitely feel a lot better now that I think really what's been helping me is getting back onto my routine of like not grabbing your phone, not doing this. Oh, and I made breakfast. I had toast with cottage cheese and blueberries. I just had one today because it's glute day and I am probably going to go to the gym sooner than I did yesterday. So it's less time for it to settle because glute days is where I like if I've eaten right before, like I will get so nauseous because I'm just pushing myself so hard. Today we're going to a TCG event. For those who don't know, that's a trading card game. Yeah, I'm up and I'm ready. We stayed up late last night, probably till like 2:30 in the morning, maybe even actually probably later because if I remember checking my phone at 2:30, like definitely went to bed later. Something closer to like 3, I think. We had dinner with my boo's family and then we went out line dancing. Mostly watched and just like vibed to the music because I didn't realize line dancing was so intense and that there was like, I guess it makes sense that there's a different dance for like every song, but damn, they had a lot of songs. So yeah, I definitely would go again. I just need to like practice, even if it's like 3 songs, like 3 solid songs that like I know I would go again. But it was crazy because when I was first walking in, I was like, everybody looks so young. I mean, people looked young. I mean, there was obviously some people there who were like, you can tell who's kind of like a little bit older or like our age. And so I was like, look at these kids, they're so young. Like I mean, I still feel like I have my whole life ahead of me because I do, but like I look to them, like my boo's sister turned 22. I'm like, oh my gosh, like your life is just starting in a lot of ways. And so that's kind of how I feel at this point, at this chapter in my life. I feel like my life is also just starting, which is crazy because, we're in our late 20s and, you know, by the grace of God, we'll hopefully reach our 30s and beyond. But in a lot of ways, I also feel like my life is just starting. And I think that is because I am truthfully like taking myself seriously. And I knew that that was a really big part of the process, is to finally like stop caring what people say or what they think. And I think I still held on to quite a bit of it, but I don't really see many remnants of those things anymore. Also, I just realized, you want to know how I know that I'm growing? I posted a TikTok that I filmed yesterday. It was basically like a transition video, and it had like, those like high quality makeup ones where they're like whatever. So I did my first attempt at it. And when I was going through the footage, I noticed that there's like, obviously we all have our favorite sides or favorite angles, and I've started to realize that I don't care about that stuff anymore. And there was like a couple frames that like old Gabby would have been like, can't use that, no footage, don't post it because it's not perfect. I don't like this, I don't like that. And instead I decided like, it's my first attempt at it, like just try it. And that feels so liberating. Feels so good to not have to feel so hypercritical of yourself, and to not have to like, I guess like just be so mean, like we're so mean to ourselves. And people bring up a very good point of that. We weren't supposed to see our own reflections. Like the only way you were ever supposed to see a reflection was like through a river, like through a body of water. It was never supposed to be to this degree. So like our brains are not as evolved to handle a lot of the things that we're currently experiencing in our world, like social media and all those things. Like we're just in such a different space than how things were when Earth was first created. We're just feeling really good. I mean, I'm tired, because I didn't get enough shut eye, but overall, like I'm very happy with where things are leading me. And I just feel like a sense of relief. I think this time around with the book, I feel maybe more ready, more mature, more, I guess, capable of handling all the changes that are coming with it. I can see why people do the book over and over again, because the first time around, I do feel like I unblocked some things when it came to some aspects of my art. I don't think those blockages like fully opened. I think that they partially did. And now I feel like a lot of those floodgates are like they're open because I'm open and I'm ready. And so potentially going back through the book again, I feel like it could unblock other things that I didn't realize were blocked. Hello friends, if I look cozy, that's because I am. Yesterday I ate good. We went to the TCG event, and yeah, it was nice. It was bigger than I thought it would be. I did crochet a little bit yesterday because I'm working on a cover for my headset, because it's been cracking and peeling. I have had it for years. It's been cracking and peeling, and I noticed that like if I take it off, I'll have like white specks on my hair. So I'm like, let me crochet a cover for it. That way I don't have to like worry about that as much, and it's also a way for me to customize it. Depending on how I'm feeling, I want to edit the vlog for Wednesday, week 2, and also finish up my assignments. I do have a couple more to do. I did 4 out of the 10. My favorite creative block is, and it says TV, overreading, friends, work, rescuing others, over exercise. I wonder what mine would be. Probably it either be like TV, reading, or like scrolling. Like I watch YouTube videos, but I don't feel, I mean, I don't know. I think it's hard because it's like I know that I don't consume as much as other people, but that doesn't still mean that I don't consume more than others. You know what I mean? Like those people who are like, this is not good for my brain, shut it off. Like have that like really, really, really strict. And I can be like that. Like today, like I was like, okay, I didn't reach my hour mark for scrolling in the morning. I did scroll this morning though. But I was like, okay, I need to just put my phone down. Let me cook breakfast. Let me do this. Like, I guess I kind of know when to stop, but there are times where I'm like, extend 15 minutes. Extend 15 minutes. Thankfully, we have a bunch of leftovers to eat, so I don't have to worry about cooking because I was realizing yesterday cooking takes up so much of my time and I enjoy it. I do enjoy cooking. But since it takes up so much of my time, that's time that I could be spent towards doing other things that I know that I should be doing or that I enjoy doing. I think I just, need to start meal prepping or something. One thing that I saw a video of was a person talking about how, as creative people, we need to be documenting the process more. And I firmly believe that. I know that there were predictions about social media becoming something more real, like more of like a behind the scenes, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm experiencing. And people want to make that connection with you and want to relate to you and see you as a person versus as like seeing you as a singer or a drummer or an artist, a lawyer, whatever. Like they want to see who you are as a person and the process of it all. And so I think that that's what a lot of this is for. It's to document my process. And it's not so much for the sake of other people. I'm documenting it because I want to see my progress. And that's also what she talks about. Like she like takes screenshots of things, like she even like goes as far to say like take screenshots of your bank account, of your social media accounts, of like take pictures of your home, of like your space, of what you drive and all that stuff, because like it's just documenting where you are right now. And you're going to reach a certain point in life where you're going to be like, oh, I remember when things were like this, but you might have no evidence to show that that's what your life was like at that time. So she's like, it's important to document things. And it's also crazy because now that I think about it, every place that I've lived, at least like once I hit college, actually not my first apartment, I don't think, but every apartment since then, I would record a tour with everything still there. That way at some point in my life, I can go back and be like, oh yeah, this is exactly how I remembered it. I basically spent a lot of the day crocheting. And so my headset was like going through it. So I wanted to crochet a headset cover. And so this is what we came up with. I didn't have really a pattern to follow for the top part of the headset. And then as for the cherries, I just like looked up a keychain pattern. But I wasn't really crazy about it because it's not as round as I would like for it to be. But I mean, I had tried another set of cherries and then those were just like way too big. I mean, they were like this big. So I was like, okay, we'll just go with it. And then I honestly made up the pattern. Like I followed the leaf one that they had, but then like I didn't chain as many as they wanted. And then I just looped it around myself. So I kind of like just did that on my own. But overall, I'm pretty happy with them. I do think that this side is like 2 stitches longer, but I'm like, I'm not about to undo it and redo it. I think they're, like, adorable. It's a little bulky, but I guess I didn't really realize how bulky my headset was to begin with. Yeah, so that's what I finished up, and I was really happy about that. I put on some New Girl, watched a couple YouTube videos, basically about, like, somebody's experience with their Etsy shop because I'm not really sure in what way I'm being pointed or guided. I do think quite a bit of it is towards the music route, but I think I still am kind of holding myself back and like not necessarily trying to force art to be like art as in like traditional art or like like crocheting like fiber art. I don't think I'm necessarily trying to force that flow. I think what's happening is just that it's just maybe it's that I just wanted to do that project, or I do think some of it is just that it's more comfortable for me to explore that avenue because it's something I'm familiar with. Like I've been crocheting, I mean, not consistently for all this time, but I mean, I've been crocheting since I was probably like 16, 17 years old. It's been years. So it's been like 11 years that I've been doing it. And so I think I'm just more comfortable with that. And so, yeah, I decided to do cherries. I love cherries. Love, love, love cherries. They're one of my favorite fruits. And I even have them tattooed on me. I think that cherries are also just so cute. I love them, love them. We're just going to get started on our morning pages. And today I really do need to finish reading The Artist Way and then finish editing that vlog for week 2 because that's going to be released Wednesday. And it does make me wonder like what's going to happen from here on out because I mean, 3 videos a week is quite a bit of content. It is keeping me busy to say the least. I think I am also worried about burnout. I don't feel burnt out yet. I don't feel like mega overwhelmed. Thankfully, I've been able to like try to get ahead, instead of like trying to film and edit one day. It's like, okay, we'll film this, episode here and then I'll edit the other thing and kind of trying to spread out my creative energy instead of just like entirely focusing it on one project at one time. So it gives me the space to like take a mental break from working on one thing to work on something else. But I do think that some part of me is like, I am worried that I will reach burnout when it comes to specifically the podcast because releasing 2 episodes a week it's not that it's a lot, it's that it's I'm not really given, like, a weekend, you know? I think at most throughout the week, what I'm given as a day off is 1 day, and even then, that 1 day will still be spent, like, doing even if it's just 20 minutes of work or filming an episode, or, like, it will still consist of doing something for the podcast, and I do feel like with doing The Artist Way, I'm not sure if I just am not finding the time to edit clips for it because I think at this point I'm posting 2 clips a week for the podcast versus posting more frequently. But now that I think about it, I'm getting in my head because I watched a content creator yesterday who is extremely successful. Makes he said his first year doing content creation, he made $1 million. And ever since then, he makes $1 million more every single year. And so this year he's projected to make 4 million. And again, not that the money is like what we're looking for here, but he mentioned quality over quantity. Like although he's not a content creator that puts out a video every single day, he puts out a video once or twice a week and they're of higher quality. And I think that that's something that I'm trying to pivot towards is that I'm just trying to do things intuitively and, I want to explore the cinematic route and, like working on different things, exploring new styles. And I think I'm kind of getting back to that because I got really in my head about having to post consistently. And that was something that made me get in my head because now I don't listen to any videos about like SEO this or you need to be posting every day for 3 months or blah 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 because I think what was happening was that I was chasing a viral video, and it's very arguable to not want to be a one-hit wonder. What is what is something that you do want is to build a consistent audience and people who, look forward to your post and who enjoy your content and who are a part of your, audience. And so I have been seeing steady growth. Like I gain a couple followers every day. And I think that even if you look at my whatever the fuck I want podcast stats, which I'm trying to like not look at stats as much anymore, but I average anywhere from like 800 to 1,000 views on a video. And that's awesome. So I don't see why I guess I'm letting go of that old mentality of like analytics matter and it needs to be like this, it needs to be like that, because like that's what sucked out the fun from doing this. And so now I'm trying to just focus on what's fun and like if people like it, cool. If they don't like it, cool. I didn't make it for any of them. I made it for myself and I'm just sharing it with the world. So, yeah, I think that that's a really cool revelation to have, is to understand your why behind everything. And my why is I I know that I'm meant to create in every capacity, in every way. I know that that is what my purpose is. My purpose is to create, it's to make people laugh, it's to make people seen, it's to relate to people. I know that that's what my purpose is. And how can I relate to people with other things that are also my purpose is through my art. It's through my writing, it's through my videos, etc. So, yeah, I feel really good overall. This is my polyfill that I mentioned in a podcast episode. You just thrift old pillow, put it to wash, cut it open. There's your fill, and I use that fill for the cherries.
Thanks for joining me in week 5 of The Artist Way, and I will see you all in week 6.